Hello, everybody. This is Angel Arts, and welcome to yet another Let's Interview the finalists for the upcoming Wizarding World of Harry Potter tabletop campaign that I will be posting on my channel this year. We are here with our awesome finalist, Sam.
Hello.
Hey, Sam. Welcome. Thank you for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Nice. And today, with Sam, we have our guest interviewer. This is, I was about to call you Molly. This is Roma.
Hi, everyone.
This is Roma. You may know her from such campaigns as the Pokemon Spectrum campaign, where, as I said, she played the role of Molly, in addition to Ew, the Grimer. Super fun. And yeah, so I'm going to get out of the way and let Roma take it from here.
Yeah, the first question I have for you, Sam, is what is it about tabletop and tabletop games that you're passionate about?
I first got into tabletop gaming in the tail end of my high school years, where a friend invited me over because he, had a lot of the books, and from there we started, telling stories, and I was able to continue that into my college years, and I was able to make a whole bunch of really good friendships based off of that, and we were able to build stories together, and it was just a lovely time. You always remember the stories and the adventures and what you did in them, rather than the specific outcome, even unless the outcome was really memorable, like failing against two elder gods.
If I can piggyback off of that, Roma, since Sam mentioned memorable things. Sam, during the 5 years that you've been tabletop gaming, was there a specifically deep emotional thing that happened in any of your games? Or at least, what would you consider one of the most memorable things, story wise, that happened in a game?
So the most memorable thing was just recently. I have a tabletop campaign going with some friends that unexpectedly ended very quickly. So we were, facing up against the big bad evil guy, and in the background was this mysterious door that exuded dread. So previously, before the big bad evil guy showed up, we tried to open the door, and dread just filled us, and we were unable to open the door except one person who succeeded their will save, and they're like, it's just a normal door. So when we started the encounter with the big bad evil guy, one of his AoE spells sort of decimated the party, and our wizard was up, was one of the very few people who were still up. So they used prestidigitation to open the door. So instead of, defeating the big bad evil guy, it turned out that it released his power. So he just became even more powerful. This already really overpowered big bad evil guy. And so the wizard had one last chance to act before the big bad evil guy basically destroyed us all. So we had a MacGuffin that would summon another elder god. So he summoned the elder god, and instead of fighting each other, well, they did, but since they're elder gods, they just sort of destroyed everyone around them. And we could see the hope drain from our DM's face as his poor campaign got derailed and overturned and set on fire. So it was really fun watching all the interactions between the different people and imagining the elder gods fighting each other. But it was a little disheartening to see our characters that we had been playing with for a while just go up in smoke.
Roma, is it just me? And Sam, please take this as a compliment, even though you have no idea what I'm talking about. Am I getting? I'm getting a Riz Grestar vibe from Sam right now.
I am
Do you?
actually.
I'm kind of getting that. Take that as a compliment. Riz is amazing. But
Okay.
anyway,
I couldn't.
cont-
I was thinking he reminds me of someone, but I couldn't quite put my finger on
yes.
it.
Anyway,
That is a very big compliment, Sam.
Riz, if you're watching, we love you.
All right. So moving on to the next question, then. What is it about Harry Potter that you're passionate about or interested in?
Okay. So when I was much, much younger, we used to go on long trips in the car with my family. And so this was before I was really, really into reading. So my parents would put on books on tape to try to keep us entertained in the car. And one of our favorite ones to always bring were the Harry Potter books. Um, the guy who was reading it just had a very good voice, and it was really interesting just to hear him read the books. When I got older and was able to read the books, on my own, and as they started coming out, I started reading them on my own. And I always loved fantasy and how you could imagine a world and just fill it with a whole bunch of fantastic creatures, different spells, different ways to interact with the world. I always like listening to the fantastical, and the only thing that's limited is your imagination at the end.
So you're a more experienced player, and you might have more experience than some of the other players. How would you help the less experienced players kind of get on their feet?
Okay. So within a campaign I'm currently in, we have a few characters who don't really know how to play, and this is one of their first times playing campaigns. And it's always nice to see what sort of characters they draw up and what they want to do with those characters. They may not know the exact rules and how to play those characters. So when it's their turn, we try to help them whenever they ask for help and have them learn where they want to. This helps them learn what mechanics they're supposed to do every turn, and if they have any trouble, we'll step in and help them for sure. But we would really like to see them take the reins on their own character, just so that we're, not dictating what their character does, because half the fun is just trying to find out what your character can do and what they can get away with in the end.
And hope they don't burn anything down, right?
Oh, sometimes burning good things down is fun.
All right, and this next question is kind of the "what is your biggest weakness" question. Yeah, what difficulties might you have during this campaign, and how would you overcome them?
So, as an engineering major, I really want to optimize everything. So, when I first started out tabletop campaigning, I would always try to optimize everything and try to get the best rolls and the best outcome, and try to go for the big rewards. But I was discovering that I was just having an awful time playing all these games because instead of worrying about having fun, I was worrying about, oh, if I do this, this, and the other thing, it guarantees that the big MacGuffin actually happens. It isn't a sustainable option, and through my years of playing tabletop campaigning, I've learned to sort of step back and see how the story unfolds. And some of the best stories come when you just fail utterly and try to dig your way out of the situation.
So one of the things that I'm looking for in the people that I choose in this campaign is I'm looking for players that are able to help me flesh out a lot of the holes in the lore, in the established lore, especially when it comes to the other wizarding schools that we know very little about, and also the countries that they're associated with. So my question for you is, pick any international school that's not Hogwarts and not Ilvermorny, and explain to me how you would imagine either the school to be like that's different from Hogwarts and Ilvermorny, or how you imagine the Wizarding World culture to be like in that country.
So the main place that I think Oliver would probably be gravitated towards was Ugatu, because its main specialty is transfiguration, and Oliver is all about that subject. I also think that since it is in Africa and it has such a diversity of regular, normal creatures, that it would have a diversity of magical creatures as well. It would probably, in at least the main lore that we had, when it was doing transfiguration, it premiered to the world stage as a transfiguration and animagus place for everyone to be. I feel like, it would have places that you could study those animals and interact with those animals so that you could be a better animagus or a better transfiguration wizard, because you would first have to study each individual creature and see how they move, how they react, so that you can make a more convincing animal or more convincing transfiguration. I also expect the culture to be pretty similar to some of the Muggle world. but with a magical flair on it, sort of like how we saw in the Harry Potter books, how within Hogwarts it was somewhat similar to the Muggle uh, culture, but then had sort of a magical flair, and it was sort of medieval type looking, but with magic.
Can you give anything specific to Africa
Oh gosh.
culturally?
My studies didn't really include Africa as much, but I do know that in a lot of their culture, it would probably have to do with more of their ancestral rites. I'd have to do a lot more Googling just to get a better glimpse at the culture, because I would hate to do the culture wrong and then represent it wrong.
Understandable.
But if Oliver was picked and he went to Ugatu, I would want to do a lot more research on that culture and then maybe think of a way to add a magical flair to it.
Totally understand that. Thank you, Sam.
I was pretty intrigued by the story you told in your audition. The part of Oliver's first encounter with the dragon and the first time he was able. So I would like to start off by kind of playing that out.
Okay.
Okay, I would like to start by playing that out. So you are with your parents. You are with your parents, and you are at this place where you know that dragons are. What do you do? How do you encounter this dragon by yourself?
Okay. I'm gonna set the scene a little bit on my end as well.
Go ahead.
Oliver would probably be a lot younger,
Okay.
specifically right when his magical powers first manifested themselves. So I'll jump to that. Hey,
Go
Mom,
ahead.
Dad, wow, are there dragons around here?
Yes, son, there are, but stay close to us. We don't want any incidents happening. Okay.
Yeah, I heard that there's a nesting mother around here. Can we see baby dragons?
Well, you know, son, baby dragons usually have a mother dragon to to take care of them, and well, we don't want to bother the mommy dragon, right?
No, but we could get up close and see their hatching patterns and maybe see how they come out of the egg. I know that it's been really hard for you to see that sort of activity. Maybe we could get close enough to see that.
You know, Oliver, you're thinking very well. You're thinking very well. Maybe we shouldn't just go running up to the dragon's nest, though. Let's stay behind. Let's stay back a little bit so we can think of a better way to approach the dragons.
Oh, okay. I know we should get some water. Just because dragon fire and water would help, right?
That's possible. I'll tell you what. Why don't you go get the water, and we will talk and think about a way to get closer to the dragon.
Okay. Well, Oliver expects to go down to a stream to fetch some water, totally forgetting that his parents can summon it just whenever.
Of course.
And as he's down there, he starts seeing some dragon prints, from where the dragon starts gathering some water. There's a print. Oh, it's very low. Oh, maybe if I follow it, I could find the nest, and then I can tell Mom and Dad about it. Yeah. So Oliver slowly starts creeping along the dragon's footsteps, remembering rudimentary tracking techniques learned from his parents, especially because they've been employing these types of techniques, and trying to be stealthy because he's learned that his parents don't want him to go there, but
Oliver is tracking this dragon, and he hears this kind of low rumble, like not like a roar, not a dragon roar or anything, but think about, well, since it's on my mind, a cat purring. Think of a very large cat purring, and it's basically like the sound of a very large dragon, and it doesn't sound like a threatening sound. It sounds like a very affectionate sound. So what does Oliver do?
He quietly looks over to where the site of the purring is coming from. maybe hoping to catch a glimpse of some babies and maybe hiding behind a rock just to lower his presence.
He sees he sees a large mother dragon. I'm not sure which species which species it is. Let's say it's like a, what's it called, like a Welsh green dragon.
Okay.
So there's a Welsh green dragon. She's kind of leaning over. She's got some dead animal in her jaws. The baby dragons are eating from her jaws, and you see the little babies just squeaking and clamoring over each other, trying to get the meat.
Oliver's entranced at the sight and slowly creeps his way forward. As he gets closer, he starts forgetting about stealth as he's getting more and more glimpses of the dragons and is getting visibly excited.
The mother dragon hears you, and her head snaps up and she looks directly at you. She drops she drops the meat from her jaws and like gives a big roar. And
well,
you know this is definitely an aggressive roar.
Time to duck and cover. He sort of dive rolls towards a rock, trying to get out of the way because he knows what's coming next.
The mother dragon steps forward. Her wings are spread out. Her tail is snapping. She lets out a fireball, and it comes right toward the rock where you're hiding.
Whew. So as the fire sort of mixes with the rock, it bursts a bit of it aside, and that's where it reveals a crack where some of the dragon fire just sort of barely grazes his arm. This sort of fireball should have just disintegrated part of his skin, but when the fire clears, it sort of reveals fine dragon scales. They're a bit damaged because, you can't protect a bit against a large fireball from an angry mother dragon, but it turned grievous runes into, like, sort of a bad sunburn.
The mother dragon hears you screaming. She's taking several steps forward, and she's about to release another fireball. Before I say what happens next, do you want to have Oliver do anything?
Oh boy. Oliver is mortified by the burns, but knows enough to zigzag and try to get away, trying to notify his parents as well.
So you are zigzagging and running. The mother dragon, she's up on her hind legs. She's getting ready to release another fireball, when suddenly there's a stunning spell that hits her. And a whole bunch of wizards, your parents included, have all gathered. They've all cast this stunning spell against the dragon. She freezes in place, and then she just falls over like a statue.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get so close. Oh, please don't hurt her. She was just trying to protect her babies. I'm sorry. I really shouldn't have gotten so close.
Oliver, are you okay? How did you manage to protect yourself?
He's beaming brightly. Look, dragon scales!
Where did you get dragon scales? How did you put those on?
They just appeared. I almost got hit by a fireball, but is she okay? Her babies. You gotta be careful about her babies because if she falls over, she could crush them.
We'll take care of the babies, but your parents are looking at each other. They're furious. They're furious and relieved at the same time that they found you, and they come on. These wizards will take care of the mother. Don't worry. They will not hurt her or the babies. Just come on. We need to get you some medical attention.
Oh, okay. But there's also dragon prints by the lake. You should go figure those out as well. Yeah.
Let's get you taken care of first, and then we can go get some plaster casts of the prints. We'll do everything we need, but for now, come on. You almost got killed, Oliver. Why would you approach a mother like that?
She was purring and she had babies. It was so cute. You should see the little babies.
Wait. She was purring?
Yeah. So you know how like some of those big cats purr, they go. It was almost like that.
Interesting. Oliver, we've never heard of dragons purring before. Do you think you can tell us more about what she was doing while she was taking care of her babies?
Yeah, she had like a big carcass in her mouth, and she was slowly letting the little ones nom at it, and then as she was holding it, she was like purr purr, and it was so big.
And they're kind of taking notes. They're taking notes. And they say, okay, well, I suppose there was some good to come out of all of this. We did get some good research notes, and they kind of pat you on the head and they say, "But Oliver, never never run away from us again. Never run toward danger like that. It turned out okay this time, but it might not always turn out okay.
But if we found good research, then shouldn't we emulate it and try to repeat the experiment?
No research is worth losing you, Oliver."
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go get these burns cleaned up, okay?
Hi. He sort of happily trots out, almost forgetting about the burns.
So now let's imagine that was like a dream or just a happy memory that Oliver was having while he was at school. He's on his way to the headmaster's office, and there was an incident. There was a kind of incident, and basically what happened was Oliver released some kind of creature from their cages. So you're going in to see the headmaster.
Okay.
And the caring for magical creatures teacher is also there, and he's very angry. And the headmaster says, "Ah, Oliver, come in, have a seat."
Hello. Thank you very much. I'm sure this incident has been weighing on you a bit.
Well, it's certainly been weighing on me. The professor says. He says those fire crabs. Do you know how much they cost to come to
But you
this
were you
region?
were you were holding them incorrectly. A, B, there was not enough room for all of them. They were trying to eat each other. And C, why would you carry fire crabs so close to water where they could, set off in a steam explosion and injure so many people?
Well, you see, that's the purpose of transporting them. We were trying to get them away from that area. And, having them all together makes them a little easier to transport. That's all, Oliver.
Well, you should have sedated them correctly and then fed them right before, because a few of them were engaging in cannibalism against each other, and you shouldn't have so much regular water right next to them. You should properly treat them before they can cause a flash explosion.
Okay, Oliver, this is the headmaster speaking. Oliver, we can discuss the professor's methods a little bit later, but for now we must discuss what happened after you released the fire crabs.
Oh, they should
Uh,
have just found a nice place to settle down and be happy.
well, yes, that's true, but unfortunately, the place that they chose was actually the herbology class, and their flames kind of destroyed a large part of the plants that the students were using to study.
Well, you can't really blame an animal for following its instincts, well, can ya?
Well, that's true, we cannot, but unfortunately, we can blame the animal for destroying something valuable and something that's valuable for school property. You understand, Oliver.
Well, you should have constructed a better environment for them to, actually be in. Because right now it looks like the herbology classroom is needing some fireproofing material, in my opinion.
Well, we never expected that we would need fireproofing material, Oliver, until today.
But what happens if someone accidentally conjures a fireball, or there's a explosion nearby that needs suppressing?
Well, generally the fireballs that students are able to produce aren't enough to cause the damage that these fire crabs did.
Well, then you need a better emergency system. Yeah, better emergency system. You should have that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Oliver. Since you are so knowledgeable about fire crabs and their ways, I will allow you to escort the professor back to the herbology department, and you can round up all the fire crabs and put them back where they belong.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds good. I turned to the professor. We need to have a discussion on proper etiquette and training of animals as well.
Ugh. Look, when you've completed years and years of school like I have, and when you've researched dragons in Romania like I have, and when you've
In Romania, we were there. You should definitely have better decisions on that as well. Both my parents have PhDs in this subject, and by the way you talk about dragons, it's almost as if we're talking about a different species entirely.
Okay, I forgot that you were actually in Romania. Okay, okay. Look. If you want to make a formal request for different conditions for the animals, I will allow you to fill out a form and we can discuss it with the headmaster. Looks at the headmaster. The headmaster agrees wholeheartedly. and, and the professor says, "Come on, let's go clean up this mess."
Fine. And then we trot out.
Trot out, yes.
Sam, I want to ask you one follow-up question after seeing those two scenes, because Oliver's character is like super like fun to watch, and his confidence, sometimes naive confidence, is really entertaining. I want to peel back a few layers. Can you tell me briefly a story, something that happens in his life where he either felt very insecure or vulnerable? You don't have to role play anything. Just explain to me something in his life that where he really felt genuinely vulnerable or insecure.
Okay. So his parents, being keepers of dragons, often are called in to handle some sensitive situations with the illegal dragon trade. Um, One time they couldn't find a babysitter for him, so they had to take Oliver along. And this is about the correct time because they needed to start teaching him about some darker sides of the human condition. So they tried to warn him best they could before the incident, but it got pretty horrific when he was there. There were animals that were kept in really not so good situations, and he felt vulnerable because there was literally nothing he could do to save them. And he thinks back on that day every time he tries to set animals free or try to improve the situation of some other animals as well.
I'm really glad I got you to answer that question, because when you're playing Oliver in those two scenes, there's a big difference in your eyes. Like when I'm watching you exuding Oliver, he's like so excited and he's got so much knowledge in his head, and I can see your eyes lighting up. When you just told me that story, I was just focusing with your eyes when you're telling me about his vulnerable side, and I could feel it. Like something even deeper than the more, I guess, comic relief aspect of him. So thank you for sharing that with me. Thank you.
Are you looking for a person who's really good at transfiguration? One may even call him a master in training. Well, look no further, because I am here. So, you see, have you ever, thought that animal was making too much noise, giving your position away? Well, watch as I turn them into a goblet. Woo! But of course, I come back and make sure they're okay afterwards. That would be really scary being turned into a goblet. Anywho, so are you also interested about dragons and all they have to offer us? Well, look no further, as I have been studying dragons for the formative years of my life. Hooray! So, if you're looking for a transfiguration genius, animal master, and keeper of dragons, well, Oliver Dragonsong is your guy.